Our second video on increasing and decreasing by a percentage. In this video, we are going to show you a new technique, a better technique, more efficient technique to do this, and hopefully you can learn this technique and make life a little easier for yourself. Right, before we get into the new technique, let's look at the old or the technique we looked in the last video. How would I increase $7,500 by 24%? Well, the first thing we taught you to do was to find 24% of 7,500. Percent means out of 100, so we divided 24 by 100, and then of means to multiply, so we multiplied it by 7,500. That gave us $1,800, and because we were asked to increase, we then added 7,500 plus the 1,800 to get the answer of $9,300. Well, let's look at this new technique now. What are we going to do to speed things up? Let's take 7,500 and multiply it by 1.24. That gives us the answer straight away, which is $9,300. Now, where's 1.24 come from? If we start with 100%, which represents the whole amount of 7,500, and we want to increase it by 24%, so we add 24%. 100% plus 24% gives us 124%. 124% is equivalent to the fraction 124 over 100, because percent's out of 100. And if I go top number, divide by bottom, numerator, divide by denominator, I can turn it into a decimal of 1.24. And that's where I got the 1.24 from. So all I do is take the number and multiply it by 1.24, and that would increase it by 24%. Right, let's see if you can follow along with these three examples with this new technique. So part A, how do I increase 250 by 32%? Well, all I do is take 250 and multiply it by 1.32. That gives me the answer of 330. If I want to increase 40 by 18%, I just go 40 multiplied by 1.18, and the answer is 47.2. And finally, part C, if I want to increase 180 by 5%, be careful, don't multiply it by 1.5. It's one of those tricky decimals that's less than 10, tricky percentages, sorry. So I'm going to multiply it by 1.05. 180 times 1.05 gives me the answer of 189. Right, well, let's move on to decreasing. It's slightly different. Decrease $400 by 20%. Again, let's quickly go through the old way of doing this. Find 20% of 400 first. 20 divided by 100 multiplied by 400 gives me $80. And then take the $400 and subtract the 80 to decrease it down to $320. Well, here's the new technique. 400 multiplied by 0.80 gives me the answer of 320 straight away. So where's the 0.80 come from? Again, take the $400, which represents the whole lot, 100% of it, subtract, because we're decreasing 20%, that leaves us with 80%. Now, 80% is equivalent to 80 over 100, or 0.8, or just 0.80. So that's why I multiply 400 times 0.80, or 0.8. Right, so here's the last three examples. How do I decrease 500 by 12%? Well, I go 500 times 0.88, giving me the answer of 440. Where did 0.88 come from? Well, I just quickly worked out 100% minus the 12% gives me 88%, which is equivalent to 0.88. Right, 40,000 times 0.77 is the quick way. And how did I get 0.77? I went 100% minus 23%, leaving me 77%, which is 0.77 as a decimal. And part C, what about decreasing 28 by 5%? I just went 28 times 0.95. Remember, 100 minus 5 is 95, and that's 0.95. Right, see if you can go and practice this technique, speed things up a little. Thanks for watching.